Yes, I'm live now.
Okay, great. So now I should be able to find you. Hi, everyone. For those of you who are joining, I am in the process of bringing someone else on live who is not really used to the platform. So you guys will just have to excuse us because we are trying to get connected at the same time while everyone is coming on the live. So you should from me. There should have been some kind of little red number or something to pop up on the live. Do you see that?
No, I don't see it as of yet.
Um, there should be something.
There's
Some
a setting sign up in the left corner, and then there's like some lines, a heart next to it, and that's about it.
um okay, so if you don't see anywhere, let me look and see where that would be. There should be something at the bottom of the screen that is some type of indication that something has happened. But you know what? I'll tell you what we can do. This should be a much more simple way. Are you looking at do you see people at the top that have live under their names?
No, I just see me. I just see a picture of me.
Oh, you see yourself. Okay. So you have to press, there's a little house on the bottom in the left hand corner. You see
There's nothing there.
there's nothing there. You guys, I need you all to help us. So I need you to go right now and look at Justice for Tam and tell me.
There's a settings thing up top.
No, I don't want you to do anything. I'm talking to my followers or friends on socials. They're gonna help me find you. So I want you all to go to Justice for Tam and tell me whether or not Lee is live. That's what I need you guys to do. Because my other phone is dead, kinda, and it won't do it for me right now. Nakia, I see you on there. If you could help me, that'd be so incredible. This phone is still trying to get Justice for Tam. Do you got okay? So you're actually not live. I don't think you're there. My phone is dying. The other phone is dying, but I don't see you there. So you have to click the circle. Yeah, click the circle.
I did, and then it just got big. Oh, okay. Now there's a dot there.
Okay.
There's a dot on the top of it.
Okay. So he wasn't live, Nikia, so your instructions probably would not have worked. But oh wait, I see what y'all are saying. Y'all are saying he can't be live and I'm live because I can't request him. Ha ha. Thank you. So you guys don't need to be live. I mean, you don't need to be live, Lee. Okay.
So X out of that.
Yeah. So you should be able to see when you go on the little house, which takes you to the cover, you should see people that you're friends with who are live right now.
Let me go to the house. I'm at the house, and then it says live. Okay, yeah, okay, I see it.
Okay, now click that. There you go.
There you go. Now I can see it.
Okay.
I can see you.
So now you should, did something come up to say request me?
Request.
Did you see that?
Not yet.
Okay, that's all right. Now I'm sending a request to you.
Okay, go live.
There you go. All right, y'all. Ah, there we go, Lee.
Taught an old man a new trick.
See, now you know how to go live, and you're actually going to need this. So I'm glad you know how to do it because we're going to have to use this as a platform to have many, many conversations. And so you have to be in a space where people can see your face. I know you're not an Instagram user, but we got to get your Instagram life together today. And the other thing is, don't put your hand underneath the microphone.
Okay, there we go. I think I got you
There
now.
you go. There we go. There we go. So thanks everyone for dealing with the delay and trying to figure out the gram. Y'all all know what it was like the first time that we were all trying to figure this whole system out. It's not as easy as we think. And I am really glad to be able tonight, even in a very, very difficult and unfortunate situation, but very, very happy that we have an opportunity as a community to help a family that is absolutely in need. And, you know, just watching how you all stayed with us and, you know, took the time to go and help and figure out how to bring Lee onto the live tonight. That's the type of community that they need. It's the type of community that we all need. So, Lee, thanks for being with us. This conversation that we're having this evening, we don't want to take up too much time, but I do think that it's important for us to ensure that what happened to your wife does not just get swept under the rug somewhere, and that she sort of, her life is just sort of falls to the wayside. We want to make sure that people are constantly talking about and finding ways to ensure that the truth about what took place with Tamla, and also just in many of the other issues that have been uncovered about the town, and the people that she was around on that evening, that those things are brought to the light. And the only person that I could think of when speaking to the family and all of us, we talked, her sister Summer and mom and dad and all the individuals who have been advocating on behalf of your wife. When we were talking about who's the best representative to speak from the family, everyone said you, her husband, are the right person to talk to. And so I'm grateful that you came on with me. I know it's challenging to have to keep reliving the details, but hopefully this conversation this evening will give us the opportunity to really bring some things to the forefront. So I want to write here so that people will know what we're talking about when they first jump on. Husband. Okay. Horsford, right?
Correct.
Okay, got it right here. And we're going to pin this so people will know what we're talking about. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Your wife went to, and can you tell us the date again? And there's a whole lot of details. I'm also learning and also trying to get myself up to speed. So for everyone who's watching, we're learning a lot of things together at the same time. Of course, I've already had conversations and I know a lot about this situation, but because it is new to me and new to all of you, other than us seeing the initial stories that came out about what happened to Tamla, well, the media's interpretation of what happened, we're all learning together. So I want you to, first of all, just tell us the date and time in which this situation occurred with your wife.
November 3rd is when she went, and
Of what
it was
year?
2018.
2018.
And I mean, that day was just like any other day. I was in the back working in the yard, building a bonfire for the kids so that we could roast marshmallows tonight. She was helping, you know, she was in the kitchen cooking, because she knew that she was going to go out. She had told me that John's had a birthday party and she was having a sleepover because they didn't want anybody driving and everybody could, you know, just hang out and stuff like that. at first she didn't want to go, but she didn't want them to think that she didn't like them. And she was always like that. She was always concerned about what other people thought, or, I mean, not in that way of like what they thought of her, but to try to, you know, she always tries to please other people. I think that would be the better way to word it. So, you know, she was like, okay, well, um, I was actually going to go out that night as well. And I decided, no, I'll stay home with the kids because she works so hard. And it was like, she's all she ever does is, you know, deal with the kids. We're constantly doing sports. I mean, cooking, taking care of the house. My job was basically to make the money and to just, you know, I'd give her my check. All I need is $100 allowance a week. And she got everything else. She paid the bills. She did everything. She was like a superwoman. Um, so I was like, okay, well, yeah, you can go. And, you know, I was kind of, you know, didn't want her to go. So kind of like nasty about it. Well, yeah, go ahead, whatever. And so I remember when she was walking out the door, she leaned over the couch because I was sitting on the couch, and she leaned over the couch and gave me a kiss and said, I love you. Thank you for letting me go. And I smiled because we always, even though we were upset with each other, we could always make each other smile. We'd do like silly stuff to each other, you know? And so she left, and then she called me, I don't know, around 10:30 FaceTime. And, you know, the girls were there. And the other girls were on the couch, and she was happy, you know. She was just smiling. She said, "Hey, say hi to the girls, babe." And I was like, "Hi, girls." And and so, you know, we had just a little short conversation. Wasn't really about much. I just asked her if she's having fun. She said, "Yeah, it's a good time. Everybody's having fun." Um, and I guess they were going to play a game in a little bit, and Cards of Humanity or something like that. And so me and her ended up getting off the phone, and and that was the last time I talked to her. But she was happy and she was smiling.
Hmm. So, Lee, I'm so sorry again that you're having to relive this tonight, but the purpose of our conversation is to try to bring people up to speed because not enough information is
I
out there.
understand.
I'm so sorry that this happened. I mean, I can't imagine what it is to have someone leave you and then to have this type of situation occur and not know exactly what happened, but to know something is wrong. And
Yeah,
there's clearly, you know, not been enough investigation about what took place.
correct.
So there were all women that were supposed to be there, right?
Yeah,
Because
it was supposed to be an all woman sleepover.
all women sleepover, and
Hmm.
these were moms, soccer moms. I think I
No,
heard
we were all on all kids were all on the football team because
football.
yeah, we had Jaden was, or not Jaden, Peyton was on a football team and Gavin was on the football team. They were both on feeder teams for North Forsyth.
And
Uh,
how many children do you all have?
Total six. We have five boys together, and then I had a daughter from
Mhm.
a previous, and but Tammy raised her. I mean, from the time she was little. So I mean, she calls her mom, and you know, and Tammy loved her like her own blood.
Mhm. Okay, so she goes to a party. It's supposed to be a slumber party where there are all women. She speaks to you, and I think I've heard from her sister that she also spoke to your daughter.
Correct. She spoke to my
She's
daughter after me. She
right.
spoke to my daughter like maybe an hour before or maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours before they quote pronounced her, said that she had passed away.
Okay, so as far as you guys know, everything is good. She doesn't seem like she's in distress in any way.
No.
Now, what I'm piecing together, what I've been told is that at some point it has been stated by individuals at the party that she said she was ready to go home.
Yes. because
Okay.
she's not the kind of, she doesn't like to sleep in other people's houses, number one. And she didn't really know them that well. She just
Mhm.
knew them from the football field. And even at the football field, you know, I mean, me and her were always running up and down the field, cheering on the kids. So it's not like we're sitting down talking with people. I mean, you know, we all communicate. Obviously, our kids are all on the team, but you know, we were constantly up and down the field.
Doing
I
your own thing.
running down. She would have her bullhorn out there. You know,
Cheering them
favorite thing
on.
was "Can't Stop Greatness." You know, she would always, that was her favorite line on the bullhorn, because anytime the refs would make a bad call, and then we'd answer back, she'd say, "Can't stop greatness."
I stopped the comments for a moment, but I need to turn them off and on
All
just
right.
so we could kind of, you
I
know, the
apologize.
comments are on top of your face, unfortunately, but I want to make sure that other questions that people have are also getting out there. So we'll keep going sort of back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so whew, she obviously you know, wants to go, as you said, to this event, to this party, because these are folks again that you guys see often, and
Yeah.
she wants to be there. Now of course there will be people who will ask all types of questions, and I already told you that I'm going to ask you some questions that I know are in the minds of a number of individuals,
Yeah.
because at some point what we know is that someone's husband appears. I believe it's the person who lived in I believe it is the person who lived in the house. Her
Yeah.
husband appears, right? And we know this because
Yeah.
we're getting this
Her boyfriend.
information,
Yeah.
right, from this her boyfriend. So we're getting this information from the people who live there,
Correct.
or who were at the party. Is that
Oh,
correct?
I didn't know. I didn't know there were any guys there. Period.
No, but later on we found out that there were some
Correct.
men, right? So
Correct.
that's what I'm saying.
Correct.
So because of the fact that some details have come out, it's clear that there were some men who were there
Correct.
inside the party, right?
Correct.
Okay.
They were
So
supposed,
now,
from what I heard from people, I mean, who were there, I don't know, but I wasn't there. But I heard the guys were supposed to stay downstairs in the basement because there was a football game or something going on, and all the girls would be upstairs. I don't know if somebody thought they were going to get lucky or something, but that's not my wife.
right?
And it's like, you know, I've thought about it. Don't get me wrong, I've thought about it, and I know her, and she's just like, if somebody would have tried something on her, she would have probably swung on them.
She
Because
probably, and that to
no,
me,
she would
and
have
I don't know
swung on them.
anything.
No, I mean, when I say swing on them, I'm talking like swing on them like a man. Because that's, no, I'm serious. I'm serious. She didn't play.
She didn't play around.
No.
Okay. I need you to hold on for me a second. Unfortunately, guys, I know this is crazy. Y'all can entertain Lee for a second. You can read the comments, Lee, but I
I can't
ordered
read any
food.
comments. I don't see any comments. It
It
just
should come
says
up right
yay.
now. I
And
ordered something and it is here. So you have to give me 1 second. I'll be right back. You know, it's called multitasking. I'm
hey,
so sorry. I'll be right back.
intermission.
All right, intermission.
Sorry, guys. I don't see any comments. The only comments I see was from Nikki, and it says, "We see you." I don't know how she does that. Or maybe we see you. Okay, now I guess you got to scroll them. See, it's my first time ever using Instagram. I still don't see the last one from Nikki, and it says, "We see you."
Okay, sorry. So you don't see any comments on your
No, the
side?
last one I see is Nikki, where it says, "We see you."
Oh, great. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so some men are there. we're not going to make assumptions, although I'm making an assumption that somewhere in there is where
No,
something went wrong.
I'm making an assumption too.
Right.
I've already
That
made that
something went
assumption.
wrong
Yeah.
because she believed, from what I understand, from Summer and others, her sister Summer, that she would not have gone to a party where there were going to be men without
Correct.
you. So she
Correct.
must have believed, as she was told, that it would be women. And then at some point, men enter the situation.
Correct.
And now, do you know why it was stated that, do you know why she wanted to go home? Did anyone ever tell you what the issue was that made her decide it was time to go home? I know you said
Nope.
she didn't really
Nobody
like.
had to tell me. There
Okay.
was a little clip of a video that I don't know if it's even out there. I don't know who has it, but I remember seeing it. And I remember seeing my wife standing on one foot. She was standing on one foot with the not the heel, the arch of her other foot, like up into where her knee's at.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lady, I think her name was Jen Morel or something. I don't know, but I think that's who it was, who she was talking to. And when she was talking to her, I've seen that face numerous times. Numerous times. I know that face. And she was not happy. She wasn't
She
happy.
looked.
She
You
was,
could see that something
yeah.
was going on.
Oh, yeah. And
Right.
so I wanted to know what that conversation was about.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody has ever told me anything because I know she was not happy during that conversation. And I could hear whoever was filming it, you could hear guys in the background. One said me too, and another one said me three. And then it cut out. And it was like a short clip. And so I know my wife, and she does not hold her tongue for anything. And the people, all the people there are diehard Trump supporters. I do not mean to bring politics into it, but my wife could not stand Trump. She thought he was a pig and a bigot. And I don't mean to bring politics into it, but I'm just telling you the way she felt. So I don't know if there was a conversation that went on about politics and maybe she opened up her mouth and said something that they didn't like. And then, I don't know if that happened. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know.
But something happened.
Something happened to piss
And
her off.
someone from and in the reporting that the police have shared, it's clear that at some point from the moment that you spoke to her and she seemed to be happy, that she decided she wanted to go home. And then what I have read is that that someone inside the party said she couldn't go home or shouldn't go home because
Correct.
she had been drinking. And obviously she didn't need to drive, but
Correct.
there was some conversation about her potentially ordering an Uber or something like that. And still they prevented her from leaving.
I don't know if there was a conversation about ordering an Uber.
Okay, I might be wrong.
I've never heard that.
Okay,
This
maybe
is
I'm
the first
wrong.
time I'm hearing that one.
Okay.
But one thing I do know about my wife, and this is, it may not be a good thing, but we're both from the islands, and we both grew up drinking, and she could handle her liquor. She could handle. And she would drink like straight shots of tequila, and she didn't like really drink. Somebody said she was mixing Mountain Dew with. Somebody at the party said she was mixing Mountain Dew with. My wife doesn't even drink Mountain Dew, and it's like there was just a bunch of things that they were saying that don't add up. But my wife would have made it home. I can guarantee you that 100%, 100%.
She would have made it home.
Oh yeah, 100%. She would have made it home.
But she never called you to say, "Come get me."
No.
Okay. So, do you think she was on drugs?
No. Well, she smokes weed, if you call weed a drug.
Okay. And even in the toxicology report and all of that stuff that was done, is there anything? Did they find any particular drugs or anything?
They found Xanax. But the problem with what they found with the Xanax is it wasn't in her liver, which means that it was just given to her.
It wasn't in her liver, so it hadn't settled in her body.
It hadn't settled in her body.
Wasn't something that she takes on a
She
regular
takes,
basis.
no, she doesn't take Xanax. She doesn't have a prescription for Xanax.
Okay, so now at what point are they saying that they found out that she fell over the banister?
After their original story that she tripped and suffocated in the grass, fell to crap because of all the different injuries she had on her. Because at first they were saying she was walking on a flat ground and tripped over a little thing maybe this high that holds the rocks or mulch or whatever inside. They said she tripped over that. She was so drunk that she tripped over that, fell face first into the grass, and just laid in the grass and died. That was their original story.
How far? So this is a high balcony or one where you could live, you can make it.
No, I'm not even talking about the balcony. I'm talking about their story was walking. They said their original
outside walking.
Yeah, they said she was downstairs on the downstairs floor, the basement floor, walking, and tripped over something, and just tripped over it and went straight in the grass from standing on her feet. That was their original story. Fell face first in the grass and just suffocated and died. That was their original story. But when they found all the bruising and all the beating and all the stuff that the coroner released, then they changed up their story. Oh, no, she must have fell off the balcony.
What? Okay. Stop. Okay. So what you're telling, so I thought the story was always that they believe she fell off the balcony.
Oh, no.
So the story changed that she was, the first story was that
she tripped.
She was walking and she tripped over something on the ground, fell into this bushy area.
Into the grass. No, not a bushy area, a grass yard. Now, there are no bushes. Yeah, just a grass yard. Fell face first in the grass and just laid there and died. That was their original story.
So then they know that story isn't working because there's bruises, and then I heard
injuries and all that
the
stuff.
injuries, the way in which she was laying, the hands, the whole thing. And so then they said, oh no, she fell off the balcony.
Correct.
Wow. Okay. So now talk about these injuries, because listening to your family, the injuries that they have explained to me sound like foul play. That's what they sound like, but of course I don't know.
Well, I'm going to tell you for 100% fact that you cannot get those injuries from falling off a balcony into the grass.
What were they?
Okay. Well, there's a lot of injuries that, well, I don't know if I should say them all, because
you don't have to say a lot of them. Say whatever you feel is okay to say. Please, anything that you don't feel you should tell us, don't state.
This is the thing, is that a lot of people don't know the extent of the injuries, but I know them because, and this is going to shock some people, but when I went into the funeral home, I probably scared the shit out of everybody because I yelled, "What the fuck?" as loud as I could. I walked in and I saw my wife look like she had shoe polish on her face, black shoe polish all over her face. And I flipped out and I was like, nope. And I walked out and I told them, take that off of my wife. Take all that. Well, sir, I'm sorry, but we had to cover up the bruising and this and that. And I don't cover up the bruise. You don't cover up the bruising with black shoe polish. My wife is my color, you know, but yet her skin was this color, like blackface. And so I was really pissed, and I was gonna close the casket and just leave it a closed casket. This was for the viewing, not for the funeral, but for the viewing. And so my sons came out to me and said, "Dad, what's wrong, man? Dad, what's wrong? Dad, what's wrong?" And I said, "You can't go in there. You can't see that. That's not your mom. That's not the way your mom looks." And they're like, "Dad, I don't care. I want to see. I said, "No." I said, "These are grown man decisions. I don't want to see." I'm like, "You're making a grown man decision. You're going to have to deal with it." And he's like, "I don't give a fuck, Dad. I want to see." And that was my oldest at the time, because he was pissed. And so I said, "You know what? Okay, you want to make grown man decisions? Come on, let's go." So I went in with my oldest boy, and he stood next to me, and we both just stood there and looked at her, and neither one of us shed a tear because he looked nothing like her.
Wow. Didn't even look
And
like her.
it didn't look like her. And
Mm.
then they had, like, her wrist was all cocked up, and you could see where the bone had stuck out, like it was broken. And so then Gavin came up, which is not Peyton. Peyton didn't want to go in at all. So the one after Peyton came in, and he started walking up. I said, no. He said, Dad, come on. I said, you know what? It's your mom. Come on. And he walked up, and he stood there, and he didn't cry. And he looked at me, and he said, Dad, that
Wow.
doesn't,
Now,
he
how
said,
old is
Dad,
he?
he, at the time, right now he's 14. At the time he was like 11,
Okay.
11, 12, right around there. He was 11 making 12.
Mm.
And so he looked at me, he said, Dad, that doesn't look like no accident. And from
Wow.
time my child told me that, I said,
Wow.
you know what? I said, leave the casket open. I said, leave it
Wow.
open. Let everybody in here, if a 12-year-old can walk up and say, Dad, that don't look like an accident, I said, leave the casket open.
Wow.
And the family got upset with me a little bit because Tamla was a very beautiful woman, and
Mm.
she would have never wanted anyone to see
To
her like
see
that.
her that way. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for my son to tell me that, I was like, you know what? No, leave the casket open. If he can see it, I want everybody in this whole place to be able to see it. And then, so after that day, I left. I walked right out. I went straight home right after that. I didn't greet anybody. I didn't say hi to people who came. I didn't do anything. I just walked out. Me and my daughter and my boys just left. And then, so I told them, get that off my wife's face now.
Wow.
And so the next
So you
day,
guys, so she basically, the bruising that you're talking about, people saw it.
well,
And
they saw a black face,
they saw a black face.
but you could see her, like, you could still see her arm was all twisted up, like it was like it was bent back and broke. Her, you know, there was different swelling, and you could still see some of the bruising through the black face. So they took it all off. And the next day for the funeral, we did do closed casket, but I wanted to go in, and I told them I want to go in, and I want to see my wife with no makeup on, and I want to be alone with her. So me and my sister went in, and this is what nobody knows. Is we took pictures of everything.
Right, her body.
Of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it is impossible. It is impossible to fall. I don't care if you are Einstein, you cannot defy physics. It's impossible to have a ring-sized bruise on this side of your head, another bruise on this side of your head, a bruise right here, like a hard bruise here, one on the bridge of her nose right here, and another one down here. So how you get all over your head from one fall? That makes no sense to me. It makes no sense whatsoever. She had other marks on her as well, as far that looked like defensive wounds. And it was, you know, she had scratches on her arm. I pulled up her shirt, her sleeves on her shirt, on her dress. She had linear scratches on her arm.
Okay.
How do you get that from falling off a balcony into the grass?
So what did the police say about this? And what did the investigators say? I mean, I saw that your attorney has made statements about those bruises and has said
Nobody said anything. Nobody said anything. Because I wasn't telling anybody what I saw. I didn't tell. This is the first time I've ever told anybody what I saw.
Wow. Okay. But they did know that there was something about the apparent injuries, like the way that her arm was situated, that didn't seem in line with just one fall, as you said. That was sort of, that's something that I heard.
Well, it's not the way her arm was aligned, and it's not the way her arm was broken. First of all, she was right-handed. Her right wrist like if you put up your hand like this is the only way you can get a break like that. If you put up your hand like this in a defensive posture and somebody hits you right there on your arm, this bone right here is the bone that was sticking out of her arm. That bone right there. But guess where her right hand was? Right next to her side.
So the
She
right
was
hand
flat
wasn't
on her
like
face.
this,
No,
where it could have been broken on
no,
impact. It was to
no.
her side.
It was all the way right next to her side. Her right hand was right next to her side, and she was completely face down. Nobody falls like that. Both of her legs were together. Both of her legs were together. Her right hand was by her side, and her left hand was at a 90-degree angle like this. Like somebody drug her there and put her there.
Like they moved her body, possibly. Okay.
No, I'm not going to say they moved her body. I'm going to say they put her body there. I will say that. I don't think she died there. I don't think she died there at all. Not with the marks that she had on her.
Okay, so now I learned that you and also I'm told that in the reports they claimed they didn't know she was out there. So she had been, they don't know what time she fell. No one seems to know that. Is that correct?
Yeah, because you go to a party with a bunch of people and everybody goes to sleep at the same exact time. When does that ever happen?
How was she found? Someone is asking who found her.
The aunt, I guess the next morning, the aunt found her. The aunt who was downstairs or whatever supposedly saw her and then ran upstairs to Jean's room with Jean and Jose and said, "There's somebody in the backyard."
Okay, so now I've learned about how you found out.
I apologize. Let me blow my nose. I've been crying.
It's okay. We'll give you some time. So guys, obviously you know why I am really super concerned about this and why I'm having this conversation with Lee tonight, because something feels really wrong about what happened to Tamla. And, you know, to be quite frank, if what they say happened is what happened, then we just want to know that as well. But to be in a situation where it seems like it's just open and shut, and there's no real investigation, no real accountability, that's not okay. So we're going to push for there to be a real investigation of what happened to this mother and wife and you know, beloved family member. So now,
I don't mind it being an accident. But make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. And that's what I'm trying to say. If you can make it make sense to me, then I might go along with it. But every single thing that they've said so far makes not one bit of sense.
Right. Okay, so now, because we won't keep people more than another 20 minutes. We're supposed to do 1 hour. So now I learned about how you found out, and it was the most heart-wrenching story I can't imagine again. So now, and I hate to ask you to talk about that, but I would love for you to explain to folks how you found out that your wife was dead.
I was upstairs using the bathroom, and somebody was beating on the door downstairs. So I yelled out to Jaden, "Hey, Jaden, go get the door. You don't hear somebody beating on the door?" And so he ran downstairs and came back up and to the bathroom, and he said, "Dad, there's a bunch of cops out there." I said, I was thinking it was something different. I didn't think that was the furthest thing from my mind. Me and one of my neighbors used to go at it back and forth all the time, and he had called the cops on me and Tamla numerous times for loud music, because we would have parties and all the people in the cul-de-sac would come, everybody else would come, but they wouldn't come, and they'd call the cops on us.
I'm not going to ask you who
no,
I'm not even going to ask you.
Yeah, there's no need.
But go ahead.
But so that's what I was thinking, and so I go downstairs, and I answer the door. I finish using the restroom, go downstairs, answer the door, and the cop says, "Is your name Lee?" And I said, "And what's this pertaining to?" And he said, "Is your name Lee?" And I said, "I'm going to ask you once again, what is this pertaining to?" He said, "Is your name Lee?" And I said, "Actually, no, it's not. It's Leeander. But once again, what is this pertaining to?" And he said, "Well, your wife is deceased." So he said, "It's about your wife. She's deceased." That was his exact words. "It's about your wife. She's deceased." And I said, "What?" I said, "No, no, 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 no. What's it?" I said, "Where's she at?" And I went to go get my clothes and all this stuff because I was thinking this is horseshit. I was thinking she got into a car accident or something like that. Somebody hit her or something like that. And they're like, "Oh no, it was an accident," and this and that. And I was, "Oh, you can't go, you can't go, you can't go over there. Everything's been taken care of already. No, we don't want you going over there, this and that." And so I was sitting on the front porch with them, and they're like, "Well, it seems that there was an accident. It seems she tripped over something and fell in the grass and this and that." And I'm like, "My wife tripping over something and falling in the grass? I've seen this girl drink half a bottle of tequila and dance salsa in 6-inch heels. That's don't make no sense. She didn't trip over anything." And they're like, "Well, sir, that's where we're at right now, this and that. Um, you know, would you like us to get her car?" And I was like, "What, really? That's what you're talking about right now?" Well, and so he talked to his officer and told his officer, he said, "Go get her car." And so they went and got her car, and gave me her cell phone. And that was basically, "Well, if there's anything you need, here's my card." And then he scratched his actual cell phone number off of the card, but gave me the card. Um, and I was like, "No, I'm all right. It's fine." I had to find all the kids. They actually helped find all the kids, and then
Who else was there with them when they came to your house?
no, it was just all. It was a bunch of cops. I mean,
It
a
was a
lot
bunch
of
of cops.
cops.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a lot of cops
Okay, I'm
for
turning the comments back
for
on
the.
because I'm turning the comments back on. I'm trying to turn them off and on because it's covering your face a little bit. But the reason why I'm asking who else was there is because it's been brought to my attention that because someone in the comments asked, what was the profession of some of these individuals, some of the husbands and men and boyfriends, and even I guess some
I
of the
know
women.
one of them worked with the police. He wasn't a cop, but he worked with the police alongside the police. Jean's boyfriend was the one that worked with the police.
Okay. And later on, from what I understand, there are other ties that have now been uncovered about relationships with the police department and even I think one of Tamala's friends mentioned that an individual who worked, I guess, in the department accessed her files to see what she was
That was Jose.
sharing.
That was Jose.
Oh, it was him. Okay,
Yeah,
good. So it was him. Okay.
yeah.
Right. So this guy
He got
who
fired.
is the boyfriend
Yeah,
who was in the house
correct.
somehow that night that wasn't necessarily supposed to be there, was there, and
Right.
actually has some relationship with
With
the
the police
police
department.
department.
Correct. 100%.
Interesting. He was a prison guard, I think someone says here.
No, he wasn't. I think he's a probation officer or something like that.
Okay. So, but he worked within the
He
system.
worked. He worked with the side up alongside the police.
Okay. And was the and is it not also true that someone else there, I think one of the women had either been a court officer or who had worked within the system as well?
I don't know. I
Yeah,
didn't
I
know
think
any
I
of the
heard
women.
that as
Yeah.
well. And again, I'm trying to get things cleared up that may be misconceptions. You know, when you read stuff online, you never know what's true and what's not. However, he was working for the department. And now people are asking if he was fired.
Yeah, he was fired after he looked up her stuff. After he looked up Michelle's
After he
stuff.
went and accessed files that he was not
Well, he
supposed to
was
be.
actually accessing. He wasn't accessing Michelle's stuff in the beginning. He was looking up what the police knew about Tammy's case.
Okay, so to be clear
That's
with
what
for
it's looking at.
folks, Michelle is Tamla's friend who has worked really hard to try to bring forth information that she has found out. She also is a woman who knows some of these individuals, who lives in the community. She wasn't there that night, but she has an incredible amount of information that she's been able to uncover about different things that happened. And at some point, she became the target of those people. I'm
Correct.
not saying those individuals in the house, but she became the target of some
No, she became
individuals.
the target of the individuals in the house.
Well, I
They
can't
all
say
sued
that.
her. I
I
was
can't
sitting.
say that.
I
You
can say it.
can. Right.
I
You
can
can
say
say
it
that. I
because I
can't say
sat
that.
in the courtroom behind of her just to watch their faces, and no one looked at me.
Right.
Not one of them, and they all sued her for
And they have all sued
defamation or
her.
something like that.
Right. So
And I
the
was sitting in the courtroom watching all of them and listening to them, and they didn't sound like grieving people. They sound like they were pissed that she was giving out information.
so now, to be clear, after Michelle began to present conflicting information and things that she was hearing from other people, because people talk, they share
Correct.
details, and she started piecing together what she believed was her own investigation. And as
Yeah.
she started to put that information forward, she became the target of individuals who were
Don,
involved, relationships, if you will, that gets really, really dangerous. Now, people are saying that the video is paused. I hate to hear that. What happened? Oh, man. Are we back? Can you all see us?
I'm here.
Okay, you and I are here, but I don't know. Okay, maybe. Okay, it's back now. Great,
Okay.
great. So you start to find out that people have connections with law enforcement, and it seems to me, just me giving my very, very novice opinion, that the way in which this case was opened and closed so quickly, and then to find out that the guy in the house who wasn't supposed to be there, that he access files, one, to see what the police knew about what was going on, but then the second set of information that he was caught accessing was Michelle's, the woman who was beginning to uncover her own pieces of information about what took place.
Yeah, that's from what I've heard. Yes.
Right. Okay. So that to me is very, very troubling, because it seems like, usually with cases, many cases that we've been involved in, it takes forever and no one knows anything, and you go on for years and years, and they can't find things out, and they're still investigating. But for some reason in this situation, quickly they were able to investigate and determine that it was 100% an accident, even though you and your family's attorney and others have stated that there were things about the way she was positioned, the bruising, and the storyline from that evening that don't add up, that need to be investigated more, and it has not been. So
Right.
at this point, what are you all asking for? I know there was a petition that we're going to share to get the case reopened.
The
Are
case
you
has
look?
been,
And it has been reopened,
but
right? I was
reopened by
okay.
GBI, and the problem is I think that the GBI are the ones who kind of fouled it up in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like for someone bigger than the GBI to be able to come in and actually really question these people that were in this house, and not question them while they're sitting on their couch in the house, and everybody's all comfy and nice and stuff like that. I mean, that's, I've never heard of anything like that.
Yeah, and the GBI has a history and a reputation of not doing their job when it comes to defending, protecting, and investigating matters involving Black folks. So it sounds to me like we're now looking for the Department of Justice to step in and look at what took place in this case, and whether or not there is any cover up and possible collusion with the police department and the GBI in that particular area. Right. So we're going to have your attorney to come on so we can talk with him more about what needs to happen. My organization, Until Freedom, has decided and committed to your family that we're going to get involved with trying to bring as much attention to this situation. I saw someone say that they're pretty sure that this conversation tonight is, you know, waking up sleeping giants, if you will. There are people who probably know what took place, have been hoping that this would just go away, and God would have it that we would find one another and have these conversations to start bringing to light and reminding folks about Tam and her life and what has taken place here. And so what would be your final words that you want to share with people about your wife, your family? One of the things we didn't get a chance to talk about, and I'm going to invite you back as well, because we didn't get to talk about how much this has impacted your children and what they went through, and what Tamala's sister, Summer, has gone through, and just all the difficulties and challenges that you all have faced. And I want to talk about the more personal side, but we gave 1 hour tonight to really just dig deep into the story of that night and what you know. But what would be the final words you want to share? Is there somewhere that people can donate to help you with legal expenses, with family expenses? Clearly, you're taking care of 5 children, 6 children, and it must be difficult. 5 children.
My daughter's old.
Oh,
she's not old, but
you know, us girls,
but yeah,
we figure it out. We know how to take care of ourselves. But
yeah. You would have to get with Nikki on that. I don't know any of that information.
Okay.
Yeah, I just work and take care of the kids, and work and take care of the kids, and work and take care of the kids over and over again.
Well, we want to try to help you with that, Lee, where you're not feeling like you're alone. I can see it all over your face that your heart is completely broken. The folks, I tried to keep the comments off, but I think it's important for you to see that people are pouring into you. There are so many who are writing that they want to help, want to, you know, share, want to be here to support you. Folks are asking for your Cash App information. If you have a Cash App and you want to share what that is, if you give it to me, I can tag it here.
I don't use Cash App, but I've got Venmo, but I don't know what that.
Okay, Venmo works. Venmo works, honey. Venmo works. So what's your information for Venmo?
I have no idea.
Okay, so if Summer, I would assume, I hope we didn't lose him. Summer, if you are watching, and I hope that we didn't lose him. But Summer, if you're watching, please send me Cash App or Venmo information. And in fact, I'm actually going to call Summer while we're on live and make sure that she's paying attention. Okay, so we lost him, but we're going to get the Cash App information, and we're going to make sure that we pour into our brother today. Hey, I need from you a Cash App or Venmo or something that I'm actually live. Folks want to donate right now, and I'm hoping that you can share something that will actually reach Lee for the kids. Do you have a Cash App? Because I can share that and you guys can work it out as a family. Okay, I'm going to wait for you. So as you can see, these folks are, you know, in many of these cases, people, which they should, are ready and able to collect resources and funds. They don't even have all of these different systems set up because, as he said, he's just trying to take care of his children, to work to take care of them. They had a GoFundMe. They closed it down. And I can only imagine that in this moment, to see some of us come to the table to try to support and to pour into them and edify them and to try to be supportive is so, so, so important. So if you find a Cash App or Venmo, Summer, that you can share with us, just text it to me, and I'm going to stay on for the next 2 minutes and wait for you guys to send it to me, okay? Okay, great. It's a, oh, okay. We've got Venmo, guys. We've got Venmo. We've got Venmo. So let's put this information here. And let's send $5, $10, whatever we have to support this brother who is taking care of his 5 children without their mom, his wife. Okay, unpin one comment and now find this comment and pin it. It's a sad story, and we're going to do all we can to try to get to the bottom of it. It doesn't sound right to me. And I'm sure that all of you who've been listening feel like it doesn't sound right to y'all either. It's just not right. It doesn't sound right. And there's another woman by the name of Ashley who has been involved. In fact, I was introduced to Ashley through Sean King. When I asked him about this case, you know, Sean is always right on it. He knows who to call. He's already been engaged in trying to research the situation here. And he connected me with Ashley, and Ashley has helped me to navigate this process, to learn more about what's happening, and to get connected with Tamla's family. And between Ashley and Michelle, they have really done a lot of work and have a lot of information about this case, but they also both have been targeted in a real serious way by authorities, whatever that may mean to you. And we're going to have them to come on and talk about their stories and what they've been experiencing and the trauma that they have been living under as they try to represent their friend. And I think in Ashley's situation, this is just a woman that she heard about a story and wanted to get more involved. And so let's put some pressure and fire under some butts and make some people do some work to really investigate what happened to Tamla Horsford. Tamla Horsford. Thank you all so much for staying with me tonight. There were over 4,000 of you that stayed for a real long time, dealt with me having to go get my delivery, and all of the technical stuff in the beginning. I appreciate it. And as you know, this won't be the last conversation. We'll be coming back to talk about next steps, coming back with the family attorney, and just allowing folks to understand what happened here and what more we can do to assist this family. So now I think I may have received, okay, good. There's also a Cash App, guys, and it's called, this is a Cash App. I'm going to let you all get this one too. Like I said, whatever you have, $5, $10, if you can send a little donation over, I'm going to do the same. It's justice for Tamla. Is that correct? Okay, I'm sending this. So this is also a Cash App. There we go. So that's a Cash App that you guys can use as well. So I'm going to let you all write that down. Write it down. Love you all. Thank you so much for always supporting me. I'm going to be back to talk about another case. I told you all before about my family member and some discrimination that she experienced at work. And when the human resources director, who's a white woman, stepped in, and she didn't really step in to do anything, but she refused to collaborate with the employer, who happens to be a commissioner in the state of Delaware, when she refused to do what they were asking her to do, which was actually illegal. She has experienced so much, and now finally she's been fired, and they have blocked her from being able to receive unemployment. And, you know, it was retaliation. They really retaliated more so against the white woman to make sure that she knew, and that all the other white women would know, that if you stand with the black woman, you will absolutely experience what the worst of what these systems can do to you. And so I'm going to come back with her to talk about what has taken place since since we last talked. And I put a video up on my page many months ago where we broke down the story and everything that she experienced. And now that she's been fired and that she's actually struggling financially, she has tried to she's, you know, is out speaking about her experience and what she went through, and is becoming an advocate in her own right. And so I'll be having her on so we can talk about that situation. And then I received a message from Lee, Tamla's husband, and he said he got disconnected, but he wanted to say thank you. He wanted to say thank you to everyone, but he got disconnected. But he will be back, and we'll be talking to him again. So thank y'all. Have a great night. Love to the community, and let's do for one another what we do for everybody else, which is to help folks. We win elections, we flip states, we work together for the greater good, but we have to also work together to defend and support our communities in the same way. Peace.